Hi, it's Simon Hobbs here, Simesy or Si or Sime. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a Drupal GitLab YAML file to a project. And I'm not going to use any local code, I'm just going to do it in the UI. And I'm going to do it all through the web UI, only just to show how simple it is, just to show how straightforward it is. So what am I doing? I'm going to take this module. I've had a chat to the maintainer of this module and said, look, I'm going to add GitLab YAML to your project. I'm not necessarily going to add any tests and stuff like that, other than what it adds. And he's like, cool. And I'm like, cool. So what we've got here is I'm going to jump into the issue queue for this module. And the way I'm going to start is I'm going to create a new issue on this module. So I'll create a new issue. I'm going to call it GitLab integration. And let's say make it a task and needs work and 2x branch, assign it to myself, code, and add the baseline GitLab integration. So if some of this stuff, if I'm not adding as much detail to these as you'd expect, maybe you expect normally, I will fix that up later. And apologies to the maintainer for the very skeletal nature of this initial merge request. So I've created that issue. So we save it. Okay, so now once we've got an issue, we can create an issue fork. So we do that, and it says it's going to create a new branch on my issue fork. So in theory, if I go to this GitLab integration, if I click on that, this should be my branch. Okay, so this is my branch inside my fork. And when it creates a fork, it's going to create, like, it's all the other branches that were there on the main repository are going to be there. So you got the 2x branch there. So that's all well and good. And having now created that branch, I'm going to open up a merge request back to the main project. So this merge request is going to be empty to start with, but having a merge request means that information will get updated onto the Drupal issue. So the source branch is the issue fork is the first part, and then the source branch, and then the target is Mixpanel 2.x. Okay, compare branches and continue. And okay, it says draft, mark as draft. That's fine. So I'll create the merge request. Okay, so now I've got my merge request, and so I'll go back to my initial branch, and I'm in the code, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the file that I need here. So if I come back to the Google search results I got for Drupal GitLab-ci, and I click on this first link, and loading, and scroll down, and then there's this lovely little call out box. Did you know the Drupal Association maintains a .gitlab-ci template? Very good. And this is the template. So pretty much this is all I need. So I'm going to copy this source, copy all that, and you notice that there's only a few actually active lines of YAML in this file, and most of it's just comments and stuff like that. So what I'm actually, so I'm going to go back to my file. So this is my file. So I need to create a new file, and that new file is going to be called .gitlab.ci.yml. And pretty sure if I can apply this template and it'll give me the same results. So I'll give that a go. So I have a little scroll down. Yep, that's the file that I want. So that's good. So there's my template. So I didn't even have to copy it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out a bunch of this boilerplate. So I've got my link over here to that template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the boilerplate out. So C template for documentation. Document, may as well not add spelling mistakes already. So let's just do that. And pretty much now I don't want any of this documentation to go stale, so I'm going to remove all the default stuff. Done. Yep. And down to here, and then the beautiful logo at the end. Okay, so there's my, so I'm just going to leave this in here because I'm going to change it in a sec. So, but I'll just leave that there for the moment. So there's my updated file. I will then going to say GitLab integration. YAML, so it's default default template. And commit changes. So now I've committed that. Now that's going to start running tests for me already. That's all I really need to do for that to happen. So I'm on my issue fork. If I go down into build pipelines, and you can see I've got this new test. So already just by adding that, I get all this testing infrastructure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to like stay really still for a second. Okay, after 2 minutes and 7 seconds, we've got all of our tests have run. And you can see I didn't add any tests. So what it actually did run, a few things did run. So it is running coding standards over all the code. It is running like spell checking over the code and PHP stan. If we have a quick look at the PHP stan one, for example, we can see here that it's loaded in this, this neon file, this configuration file. And if we look at that, that's PHP stan, that's level 0. So that's just the basic level of PHP stan code checking, right? And some people, you might choose to leave it at that point, or put your own in place, but no, that's fine. And what else have we got? So if we go and have a look at the phpcs, there's only 2 files in this module, so and only a couple of warnings have been thrown on those 2 files, so that's actually going to be pretty easy to cover. And then similar with and then everything else is passed, right? So the final thing I want to show you is that the module maintainer Max Darvinen has said, oh, if something doesn't pass, can we skip it until and then create a ticket and then follow it up? Great. So we want to skip the phpcs. So let's go back into the code and switch to my branch and go into my GitLab-ci. So there's my gitlab-ci.yml. And so I'm going to hit the edit button there, edit single file only. There's my variables. I'm going to skip the phpcs, and it's phpcs skip until follow up task. It changes. So while that's running, the only other thing I wanted to show you was if you go to the pipelines, you can, a really cool trick is if you want to run anything yourself and see how it ran, you might want to see like, you know, I want to reproduce the PHP stan errors that I got, for example. In this composer build step, if you go and have a look at the artifacts here on the right, keep download browse. So if we browse through those instead of downloading it, you can see that that's a composer build. So you can download this whole thing, and using Composer locally, you can install the vendor packages, and then you can run commands locally to get to see if you can reproduce the outcomes. So if you're getting a difference between your local setup and the remote, that's the way you can solve it. Okay, so there's our new finished pipeline with everything passing, and that's great. And I might also add, you don't have to skip stuff. Like if you hover over this phpcs, you can see a script failure allowed to fail. So it's not going to block your deployments or anything like that to have these ones failing. So just wanted to also mention that. But that was a requirement of the merge request. So so that's fine. Can you stop it? Can you stop it? So the only thing that's left is we have this GitLab integration ticket, and we're just ready to mark this as ready to go. Needs review. You can see there that the changes that we've made are coming through there on that, and that's done. Thanks for watching.